Y'all, let me tell you, God is so super amazing. I'm telling you, God is doing some incredible and some amazing things. Right? My daughter had this issue with her car and it's been rattling. And she went to this dealership and they were like, it's going to be $2,600 to fix it. And I'm like, you know what? The devil is a lie. But I'm like, okay, God, like, it's Christmas time. We've got all of these different things happening, different things. And I'm like, this is a lot. And, I'm just on this thing in this season of believing God and sowing my way. Y'all heard me, sowing my way. Sowing my way out of debt, sowing my way out of whatever it is that I have a need for, and just really putting my faith to the test, not to the test, but putting my faith to work and trusting and believing God. And so I called up this dealership and I'm like, you know what, we're going to go ahead and get this car in. I'm like, okay, when it come time for this bill, God, I just trust you. I know that you're going to do it. And so I'm like, as an act of my faith, I began to move forward. I told my daughter, like, give me the number to the dealership. I called and they were like, do you really want to do this? It's going to be a lot of money. And I'm like, look, we got to do what we got to do. Like, we need to take care of this car and get everything taken care of, because God has called us to be good stewards over what it is that he's given to us. And so I went ahead and I talked to the guy and he's like, you know what? Take it to like a Midas or something and, get it looked at over there. You'll probably get it done for, a more affordable price or whatever. So I went ahead, I called up today. Y'all, it's cold out here. But I went ahead and I called and I called and they were able to get me in. And I'm like, they're like, we could get the parts or whatever we needed. I had told them what the other dealership said was wrong with the car. When I tell y'all, I'm like, we're just moving forward in faith, right? We're just taking the steps, we're moving forward. I sat down for like about 5 minutes, no more than 10. And the guy comes back and he's like, the car's making this noise. And I'm like, yeah, it's been making this noise. And he's like, what noise? And I'm like, but I heard the noise when you guys had it up on, the thingy that you lift the car on. I'm like, I heard it. And he was like, what noise? There's no noise. And I'm like, yeah, there was. Like, okay, you playing with me? What? And he was like, ma'am, the car didn't need a new catalytic converter, whatever you call it. He was like, it literally was just something that we needed to adjust with the heat that was loose. The car is fine. It's fixed. It took us less than 5 minutes. You don't even need to pay us. It's free. And I'm like, come on, God. We've got to get to this place, this time, and in this season where we're beginning to believe God on another level. We've got to begin to sow. You got to begin to sow. I know how a lot of people are like, I don't believe in sowing and giving my money, paying my tithes and all of that stuff. But I'm telling you, and I am a living witness to let you know that it works. It is a principle that God has ordained that works. And so if you have a need, if you're believing God for some things that might be out of your reach, out of your, ability of what you can do, you got to begin to sow. I'm telling y'all, I was about to open up shop and go back into the salon and like do some hair. I'm like, it's gonna be pop-up shop because I need to work to go ahead to get this money to pay for all of this stuff. And I'm like, you know what, God, I'm gonna trust you. I'm gonna trust you. I heard God telling me no, that wasn't what he wanted me to do, but to just believe him. And as I began to believe him, I made up my mind. I made my decision. We're gonna go and get this car fixed. And God, by the time they finish this car, we're gonna have the money, right? And as an act of my faith, I began to move forward to make the appointment to take the car in, right? Still didn't have the money in the bank account, but I was just believing that by the time the car was fixed, we would have it. And I knew that God was going to begin to move. Now, yesterday, like I said, I sowed a seed. I sowed a seed. You know, I've just been believing God, and I sowed a seed. And I named it for us to get this car fixed. And you know, when I'm telling you, when you on this thing with God, it's not about work, right? I was about to digress, go back, pound the pavement, put all the hours in the salon, trying to grind and do hair to get the money. But God's ways are not our ways. His thoughts are not our thoughts, right? They're higher. God will make miracles and different things happen for us. But we've got to begin to move forward in order for the miracles to manifest from heaven. God's got so many things and blessings in store waiting for you. He is just waiting for you to begin to move forward into what it is that you desire, so He can meet you and bless you and get you exactly what you need. Lord, I'm telling y'all, I just had to run up to my daughter's job, and I'm like, guess what? So I was just leaving the mall, you know, telling her about the praise report, and she's like, oh my God, my car's fixed. I'm like, boo, it's fixed. It was fixed in 10 minutes for free. But when I'm telling you, when you begin to give God, and you tell God what you want, you just believe God, you sow your seeds, and then you listen. You've got to begin to listen for God. You've got to begin to listen to what it is that He's telling you and follow the instructions. God told me to go ahead and call that dealership up. God told me to ask for the man who was helping my daughter last. I asked because they had transferred it to other people, and I'm like, no, I need that guy. And as I was talking to that guy, he then gave me that, you know, step, call up this other place. And I'm like, okay, God, I'm going to just do the next step. And when I tell y'all, they was like, you could come today. And we got in. And they were like, nothing is wrong. We fixed it. It's free. Because a whole other place wanted to take out the engine. And they want to do all of this stuff to fix the problem. And I'm like, God, just have your way. So this is just a quick message, a word that I wanted to leave with you, to give you, to encourage you to just believe God and sow your seeds. Believe God, trust Him, sow your seeds as an act of your faith. And I'm telling you, my God, I'm going to give you guys some more stories on just how I've been able to sow my way. You know, when I'm believing God for big things, I definitely always put a seed. I always sow into whatever it is that God tells me to. When I'm believing Him, that's key. That's important. God will tell you what to sow, where to sow, how much to sow. And, you know, it's going to stretch you, right? And so just follow Him. Follow Him. Trust God. And just know that if God can do this for me, my daughter, my family, God will definitely do it for you as well. Amen. Amen. So that's all I got for you today. But just wanting you to just trust God. Trust God and sow your way.